بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Today is the gathering or session number 14 regarding الطحاوية, explaining of الطحاوية. Last time we ended with the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he said, "Ya Fatima, anqidhi nafsaki min an-nar." Oh no, sorry. Before that. Those who deny shafa'a, they quote this ayah. فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةُ الشَّافِعِينَ. The shafa'a of those who give shafa'a will not be beneficial. So they say to you, this ayah is clear that there is no shafa'a. But the ayah itself refutes them, because the ayah affirms that there are people, mediators, who will be mediating. Otherwise, Allah then will be saying, فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةٌ. But why he's saying فَمَا تَنْفَعُهُمْ شَفَاعَةُ الشَّافِعِينَ? It means that there are people, mediators, who are going to mediate, but despite there be mediators, those mediators will not be mediating for you. For who? For the mushriks. What is the dalil? Let's go after many ayat in the same surah. كَلَّا بَلْ لَا يَخَافُونَ الْآخِرَةِ. No, nay, as they say. But those people do not fear the last day. So Allah is denying the shafa'ah on those who do not fear the last day. Allah will not be describing the believers that they do not fear the last day. How come? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing the believers saying, يُوفُونَ بِالنَّذْرِ وَيَخَافُونَ يَوْمًا كَانَ شَرُّهُ مُسْتَطِيرًا. They fulfill their vow and they fear a day which its horribleness is great. So they fear that. Allah described the believers that they fear the last day. So the denial of shafa'ah is against those who do not fear al-akhirah. Is that clear to you? Very clear. Alhamdulillah.
Also, prior to this verse, we find that those people who will not be granted shafa'ah, they are asked at the day of judgment, what is the matter with you? Why you were thrown in hell? They'll be saying, we used not to pray and we used not to give charity. So people who do not pray, who do not give charity, zakah, that means those who have no faith. So the ayah is not talking about those who are still believers.
So these are two dalil from the verse itself and the verse that came after it, that this ayah was talking about the mushriks. For the mushriks, as we clarified it totally, absolutely, clearly last week, that they do not owe the shafa'ah. They don't have shafa'ah. There is no shafa'ah for them. Yes, for those who committed major sins, there is for them, but not for shirk. So there is ahd of Allah. Ahd of Allah. A pledge from Allah. It's for who? For who? For those people of Tawheed. When the people of Jews said, we're gonna stay in hell for a couple of days, then we'll be taken out. So Allah said to them, قُلْ أَتَّخَذْتُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَهْدًا. Did you take from Allah a promise, so Allah will not be breaking His promise to you? What did scholars say? Scholars said, this ayah is so clear that those people of shirk, they have no ahd with Allah. So why they don't have ahad with Allah? They said that Uzair is the son of Allah. As Christians said, Jesus is the son of Allah. So those people of shirk, they have no ahad, no promise. The promise is for the people of Tawheed. As Allah said, وَلَا يَمْلِكُ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِهِ الشَّفَاعَةَ إِلَّا مَنْ شَهِدَ بِالْحَقِّ وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. As for those who invoke besides Allah, they do not possess intercession, but only those who testify to the truth. What is the testimony of truth? La ilaha illallah. Those who said it, yes, there is shafa'ah. I was saying to a non-Muslim, what is the matter of saying La ilaha, there is no God that deserves to be worshipped except God? Why it is so heavy on you? Why do you don't want to accept it? Look how people will be regretful at the day of judgment. The testimony of truth is to say La ilaha illallah. Yes, for those people they have shafa'ah. There is a doubt. Yesterday some people looked at me when I was quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Fatima, anqidhi nafsaki min an-nar. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَأَنذِرْ عَشِيرَتَكَ الْأَقْرَبِينَ, and warn the closest, the nearest one among your relatives. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam he took a high place in Mecca and he started to call the people. Ya Bani Ka'b ibn Lu'ay, Ya Bani Hashim, Ya Bani Abd Manaf, Ya Bani, he started to call all of those tribes that he belonged to. Then they all gathered. He said to them, أنقذوا أنفسكم من النار, save yourselves from hell, from fire. فإني لا أغني عنكم من الله شيئا. I owe nothing to you apart from Allah. Until he said, Ya Safiyyata Ammata Rasulillah, O Safiya, the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, save yourself from an-nar, from the fire. فإني لا أغني عنك من الله شيئا. Ya Fatimata binta Muhammad, O Fatima, the daughter of Muhammad, Salini min mali ma shi'ti. Ask me from my wealth, my property, whatever you want. فإني لا أغني عنك من الله شيئا. For I owe nothing for you apart from Allah, nothing. So how can we reconcile between the shafa'ah and between what the Prophet ﷺ said, that I owe you nothing, O Fatima, even to his daughter? How can we reconcile between the two? There are 5 ways, I think, that we can, or even less, that we can reconcile between the two. I don't want to say conflicting evidences, but they may, as we say in Arabic, yuhim. I don't find the word yuhim. How to say the word yuhim? Wahm. It causes wahm. To make someone believe this or think it this way. To give the false impression. Is that understood? To give a false impression that there is contradiction, which is not. Number 1, that the Prophet ﷺ is talking about the reality that neither the Prophet, no one else can benefit or harm apart from Allah. No one. Not even the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Now, second, that this incident was in Mecca. And the atmosphere of da'wah in Mecca was about what? Tawheed. The whole issue in Mecca, the early prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was about Tawheed and Shirk. So that was before Allah informed His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that they will be shafa'ah. That was in Mecca. Now, number 3, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him after that to make an exception. To make an exception. To exclude. I do not owe you a benefit or harm except what Allah will. And Allah willed this shafa'ah to be an exceptional case. To be a beneficial thing for the people by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That clear, inshallah? That clarifies it? All right. The last thing is that what is meant by the Prophet saying is to warn them from shirk. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not owe, does not possess benefit if the matter is a matter of shirk. And the Prophet himself said that my shafa'ah is for those monotheist people among my nation who said purely La ilaha illallah from his heart. So the shafa'ah is necessarily linked to what? Tawheed. That is why the Prophet ﷺ did not benefit who? Did not benefit Abu Talib. Despite Abu Talib was really defending the Prophet ﷺ, but he was defending him for tribal reasons. The principle with him is to defend him because he belongs to his relation, he's relative to him. That's all. At the end of it, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was struggling to just take a word of Tawheed from Abu Talib, that he can use it as justification to depend on it. At the end of it, Abu Jahl said to him, "O Abu Talib, are you going to give up the way, the religion of Abdul Muttalib?" The last thing Abu Talib said before he died, "Ana ala millati Abdul Muttalib." I am following the madhab, the deen of Abdul Muttalib. The Prophet ﷺ said, I will seek forgiveness for you as long as I will not be prohibited from that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to him some ayat, revealing to him that you should not be seeking forgiveness for people when you knew that they are falling, that their seal of life ended with shirk. So inshallah this is clear now. There are 2 doubts that I wanted to clarify. Then we come to the subject of, to continue the Tahawyah. الطحاوي رحمه الله said, وَالْمِيثَاقُ الَّذِي أَخَذَهُ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى مِنْ آدَمَ وَذُرِّيَّتِهِ حَقٌّ. He said, and the covenant which Allah made or took from Adam and his offspring is a matter of truth. What is that mithaq? That you worship me, that I'm your Lord. ألست بربكم. Not only that, he had taken as the narration of Ibn Abbas that they should not be setting partners with him. He's the only Lord and God for them. And they all approved, all of them. This mithaq blows up, devastates the basis of ilm al-kalam. Theologic what? Rhetoric. Ilm al-kalam. Why? Because the wahdaniyya, the belief in Allah, is a matter of fitrah, natural disposition, right? It's a matter of fitrah. Allah set it in. So that's why I always say, do not be deceived by someone saying to you, I'm not convinced. Yeah, we're not going to say to him, you're a liar. But we know what is his medicine. At least you should know what is his problem, to diagnose him. We had diagnosed those people, and we know that their problem is not being convinced that there is God. No. What about the mithaq that Allah had taken? The problem here is with ilmul kalam. The first problem is that their way to deal with the matter of tawheed is not a matter of, it does not consider the natural disposition, which is based on the fact that every person automatically knows Allah. Automatically. The second corruption of this ilm al-kalam is the denial. The second corruption of this ilm al-kalam, the denial of Allah's attributes. And their dalil is what? That if you add an attribute to Allah, you are adding what? A person. So every attribute is a person. And that's why they deny the attributes of Allah. So multi-attributes to Allah, multi-gods. That's what they said. Ta'addud. They call it in Arabic, and I read it myself. They say, تعدد الصفات تعدد القدماء. Multi-attributes, multi-gods. That's why they had to deny the attributes. The third corruption of their belief. They believe that al-ilah means al-qadir ala al-ikhtira'. Ilah means the one who is able to create, which is not true. Ilah means the one who deserves to be worshipped. That's why when Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ إِلَهٌ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَهٌ. Some people, they bring this ayah. When you say to them, do you believe that Allah in the heaven, in the height, as Allah said, أَمِنْتُمْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ, they say, yes, we believe that He is فِي السَّمَاءِ إِلَهٌ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَهٌ. They run just to change the topic. So they say to you, if you want to say that Allah is in the height, you should believe also that Allah is on the earth, because Allah said, وَهُوَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ إِلَهٌ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَهٌ. This shows that those people know nothing about the meaning of ilah. Ilah means the one to be worshipped. Al-ilah. Allahu la ilaha illa. There is no God that ever deserves to be worshipped except Him. This is the meaning of ilah. يَأْلَهُهُ يَعْبُدُهُ. Al-ilah huwa al-ma'bud. يَأْلَهُهُ, it means يَعْبُدُهُ. So Allah is ilah, that means He is the worship. So what's the meaning of that verse? وَهُوَ الَّذِي فِي السَّمَاءِ إِلَهٌ وَفِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَهٌ. That means He is being worshipped by the people of the heaven and by the people of earth. Did you get it? Now, the fourth corruption. So yes, we believe that Allah is the one who is powerful to create anything He decides. We know that. But this is not the meaning of ilah. Ilah means the worshipped one. The fourth corruption, that those people of ilm al-kalam did not indulge themselves, involve themselves in the matters of shirk, such as calling the dead people apart from Allah. That's not their case. What is their case? Is to make a dispute kind of dialogue or format, to end with it by proving that there is no one to create on earth except Allah. So their end did not disagree with the belief of Abu Jahl, because Abu Jahl believes that there is no creator but Allah. So this mithaq means covenant, that Allah taken from the sons of Adam when they were in the back of their father. What is that mithaq? The covenant that He took from them. This covenant means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, set with them the belief that the Creator is one. It was set inside them. As even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. What is fitrah? The natural disposition. He is born with this natural disposition. In another hadith, على الملة, that means the way. In another hadith, على الإسلام, Three hadith authentic. The three narrations are authentic. Fitra, Millah, Islam. فأبواه يهودانه أو ينصرانه أو يمجسانه. So his parents, either they make him a Jew, change him to Jew, or Christian, or Magian. Yes. The Prophet did not say, أو يسلمانه. The Prophet did not say, or his parents may make him Muslim. He's Muslim already. That's why we Muslims believe that if any small kid among the children of the pagans, regardless what religion he belongs to, he is Muslim. If he died, he will die as Muslim. The children of the kuffar, suppose someone has a daughter or a son, 2 or 3 years, then he died, crash, or etc. They are people of Jannah. Now, and also the Prophet ﷺ said, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, خَلَقْتُ عِبَادِي حُنَفَاء, pure from shirk, ready for Islam. Anything you put over the container, any cover other than its own cover, it will not suit it. So that's what Allah did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set within the nature of a human being what suits them, what suits the belief that there's no other one that deserves to be worshipped except Allah. There's no creator other than Allah. خَلَقْتُ عِبَادِي حُنَفَاء, I created my servants as Muslims. فَاجْتَالَتْهُمُ الشَّيَاطِينَ, but afterwards the devils had misguided them, taken them, diverted their way. Now, the other evidence, وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَيَقُولُنَّ Allah. Allah is saying to the Prophet ﷺ, if you ever ask them, who created the heavens and the earth? They will be surely saying to you, it is Allah. Those are the mushriks. Yet they're still mushriks. What is their problem? وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ. They worship apart from Allah what neither harm them nor benefit them. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. They worship them and then they say, those are our mediators to Allah. مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. We worship them not but so they will drive us nearer to Allah. This is the shafa'ah of shirk. So when Islam allowed the shafa'ah, he corrected the shirky kind of shafa'ah. He warned us from the shirk kind of shafa'ah. So he returned the people, Islam returned people to the sound and correct and proper shafa'ah, away from the shirk shafa'ah. That is why when the Prophet ﷺ heard the mu'adhin saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, the Prophet was waiting to attack this village, because at the last period of his life, he used to be passing by villages. If he hears the adhan in the village, he leaves it and go to another one. If he doesn't hear adhan, that means this village is not a Muslim one. He attacks it. So as he passed by one village, and he heard the adhan, he heard a mu'adhin in the village saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. The Prophet said, Ala al-fitrah. He said, this is the natural disposition. That's what the Prophet said. When the man said, Allahu Akbar, because everybody, naturally we believe that Allah is greater over anyone else. It's natural. That's why he said, Ala al-fitrah, according to the natural disposition. But when he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, then the Prophet replied and said, Kharajta minan nar. You're ousted from hell. because of the Shahada. The matter of Tawheed is great. It's important. What kind of civilization that keeps people until now thinking that God himself took a form of a man, of a human being, and went down, and he was tortured, he was helpless, he was hopeless, he was powerless, and then they crucified him, etc. For what? To save the sinners from their sins. But what about those who have been sinned against? Those mazloom, the wronged one. They need, astaghfirullah, they need a God to come and die for their oppression. Strange. Why people fornicate and kill and etc., and then they need someone to die for their sins? Isn't there any other way? But this is how they teach people to commit suicide. Why? Your God committed suicide. He was able to remain alive, but he got himself killed for your sins. Yallah, you commit suicide as well. Isn't this a point? Doesn't this make sense? If God would be asking people, why did you commit suicide? They'll say, you killed yourself. You were able to defend yourself, but you killed yourself for our sins. So we were imitating you. We're killing ourselves as well. Some people may say the following, and this is very important. You know, dividing Tawheed into three categories. This is the invention, bid'ah of Ibn Taymiyyah. This is the bid'ah of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab. Didn't you hear that before? Did you hear that? Somebody said it to you? What? He had seen it online. Yeah. They always say that. Okay. A book called Sharh Jawharat al-Tawheed for Al-Bayjuri. Al-Bayjuri. He said, this book is used for the teaching curriculum in Al-Azhar. This book. Sharh Jawharat al-Tawheed. Now, what does he say? He said, regarding the illustration of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, he said, that indicates to emphasize the Tawheed of Rububiyyah, which should be followed up by Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. Should be followed by Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. So, this is division of Tawheed. This is, what do you say that? Yani dividing the Tawheed into Tawheed Rububiyyah and Tawheed Uluhiyyah. المقتضي من الخلق تحقيق العبودية. Why do we say Tawheed Rububiyyah? Tawheed Rububiyyah is the natural Tawheed. Tawheed al-Ubud, Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. What did we say about Ilah? What's the meaning of Ilah? So Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah is Tawheed al-Ubudiyyah. And that's what he said. He said Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah is the Tawheed of Ubudiyyah, is the Tawheed of worshipping Allah. That's what he said it. Sharh Jawharat al-Tawheed, page number 97. This is not a new thing that Ibn Taymiyyah brought as they claim. No. There was a fanatic, very fanatic Mufti, Uthmani, you know, at the last period of the Uthmani period. His name is Al-Kawthari. I think you heard of him. He has a disciple who lived in Saudi Arabia, and I met with him. We had a dialogue together, and then he died. May Allah grant him mercy. He's Matridi, as we say in England. In your, we say Deobandi. Many Deobandis don't know that Deobandi is, in a matter of fact, Matridi madhab. So he was on the Deobandi madhab, and he mentioned the following. He said, this classifying of Tawheed being Tawheed Rububiyyah and Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah It is benefited, it's been taken from the book, from the evidences of the book and the Sunnah. Where did he say that? Kalimat fi kashf wa abatil. And he said this while he was refuting Al-Albani. He was refuting Albani, but he had to give this confession that there is nothing wrong with dividing the Tawheed into Tawheed Uluhiyya, Tawheed Rububiyyah, and Tawheed Uluhiyya. This kind of classification, or categorizing, right? Yeah. This is benefited, this has been taken from the Quran and the Sunnah. صاحب الحدائق الوردية. There's a book called الحدائق الوردية في الطريقة النقشبندية. This is Naqshbandi, as the Americans say, Naqshbandi. This Sufi book, he mentioned that there are two levels of Tawheed, Martabat al-Rububiyyah and Martabat al-Uluhiyyah. Page 187. What this man said is correct, because Qatada, rahimahullah, said, he is tabi'i, he said, لا تسأل أحدا من المشركين من ربك إلا وهو يقول ربي الله ومع ذلك فهو يشرك بالله. You don't ask any among those mushrik people, who's your Lord? But he'll be saying to you, Allah is my Lord. Yet, despite that, he is setting partners with his Lord. So why there was a need for dividing the Tawheed? We had to do it. You know why? Because Ilm al-Kalam makes a lot of efforts to end with what? That there's one creator. So that will be destroying all the efforts that the Prophet Muhammad came with to what? To prove Tawheed. Because the utmost Tawheed became to those people of Ilm al-Kalam is to prove that there is one creator. Which Abu Jahl claps for that. He gives them applause. Bravo, that's good. That's what I believe. You know, if those Greek people became prophets and they called people for this kind of Tawheed, Abu Jahl would be saying, that's a great Tawheed. That's what we believe. And the Quran makes it clear. If you ever, oh Muhammad, if you ever ask those mushrik people who created the heavens and the earth, they will be saying for sure to you, certainly they will be saying to you, it is Allah. And despite that, they are mushriks. Look, there is a book here, an Ash'ari book. Look what they said. غاية المعرفة. This is also extremely published and well known. It's a famous word. غاية المعرفة بالله, the utmost knowledge about Allah, الإيقان بوجوده, to have the great certitude that He has existed. Huh? This is the greatest iman, is to believe what? That He has existed. So where's the benefit? Everybody knows that Allah has existed. And I don't like the word He has existed, because you may be questioned about who put Him in existence, who existed Him. I don't like to use that word, because Allah is the Wajid. This is one of His names and attributes. He is Al-Wajid, the one who caused others in existence. So you should not be saying He has existed. I am existed, yes. But you should not say something else. You may use some. Why do they say that? To run away from something we know. Like what? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had taken Himself up over the throne. So they don't like that. And I realize that they get angry if you prove to them that Allah is up. I don't know why. As Pharaoh got angry with Musa, when Musa said to him that Allah is up, he said to Haman, "Oh Haman, build for me a high tower. I'm going to climb up to see if there's a God up." And I think Musa is a liar. Was Pharaoh Ash'ari? No. There's another doubt they bring to you is this, that the two angels will be saying to the dead person, who is your, huh? Who? Lord or God? No. Lord. Man Rabbuk. So they'll be saying to us, see, the angels ask the dead, who's your Lord? Rabb. They didn't say to him, who's your Ilah? That's it out. But the case is this. He will be blocked from saying Allah is my Lord. He knows it. But despite he knows, Allah will not enable him to say Allah is my Lord. Because he was not considering his Lord when he was alive. Look afterwards, when the angels say to him, to the dead in his grave, when the angels will say to him, stay in your, when they say to him, this is your place in Jannah. To who? To who? To who? Place in Jannah. To the kafir. Is that correct? Yes or no? Yes. They'll be saying to the kafir, to the disbeliever, this is your seat in Jannah, in paradise. Yes or no? No.
Yes, yes.
What is the evidence?
Yeah.
What is the evidence? The angels will be saying to the kafir, this is your place in Jannah.
Everybody has place in the Jannah.
This is your place in Jannah if you were obedient to Allah. Now, look at your place down. They'll show him his seat in hell. And they'll be saying to him, this is your seat that awaits you. Then he will be saying after that, Rabbi, la tuqim as-sa'a. Oh my Lord, don't let the final hour comes. Now he was able to say, Rabbi. But before, when they asked him, who's your Lord? He wanted to say it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stopped him from saying it. That's why the Prophet described how he was speaking. He was saying, I don't know. He wanted to say, Allah is my Lord, but he couldn't. Because he was ignoring Allah's Lordship when he was in this life. That's why afterwards he said, Rabbi, la tuqim as-sa'a. Now he knows. Now he is able to say Rabbi. But before he was trying to say Rabbi, he couldn't. Did you get the matter? It's clear to you, inshallah? طيب. Al-Imam al-Tahawyah rahimahullah said, وَقَدْ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ فِي مَا لَمْ يَزَلْ عَدَدَ مَنْ يَدْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ عدد من يدخل الجنة وعدد من يدخل النار جملة واحدة فلا يزداد في ذلك العدد ولا ينقص منه. He said, Allah knew before the existence of time the number of those who would enter paradise and the number of those who would enter the hellfire. This number will neither be increased nor decreased. وكذلك أفعالهم فيما علم منهم أن يفعلوه. The same applies to all actions done by people, for they are done exactly as Allah knew they would be done. وَكُلٌّ مُيَسَّرٌ لِمَا خُلِقَ لَهُ. And everything is facilitated to what he had been created for. وَالْأَعْمَالُ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ. And actions are justified or judged by khawatim, the seals of people. What will be sealed with people? As it had been said, يَمُوتُ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى مَا عَاشَ عَلَيْهِ فِي الدُّنْيَا. The person will be dying on the same attitude of what he used to be living with. If he used to be a drunkard, cheater, liar, his attitude will be the same. Yani when he die, he will be dead on the same attitude that he used to be living with. He used not to be serious. He will die, and then he will be considered, he will be gathered at the day of judgment with those who used not to be serious with Allah. That's how it goes. وَكُلٌّ مُيَسَّرٌ لِمَا خُلِقَ لَهُ. And everyone is facilitated to what he was created for. And it is the action with which a man's life is sealed, which determines his fate. As he used to be in life, you will be dying. Your seal will be the same attitude of what you've been living. And also, وَالسَّعِيدُ مَنْ سَعِدَ بِقَضَاءِ اللَّهِ. And those who are fortunate by the decree of Allah. And those who are wretched by the decree of Allah. وَالشَّقِيُّ. And the miserable is the one that had become miserable by the qada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the predestination of Allah. Then he said, وَأَصْلُ الْقَدَرِ سِرُّ اللَّهِ. وَأَصْلُ الْقَدَرِ سِرُّ اللَّهِ. And the exact nature of decree is Allah's secret in His creation. The matter of qadar is a secret thing that is difficult, complicated. How Allah's knowledge about you goes in harmony with what He ends with you. Then he says, وَأَصْلُ الْقَدَرِ سِرُّ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى فِي خَلْقِهِ لم يطلع على ذلك ملك مقرب ولا نبي مرسل والتعمق والنظر في ذلك ذريعة الخذلان وسلم الحرمان ودرجة الطغيان فالحذر كل الحذر من ذلك نظرا وفكرا ووسوسة فإن الله تعالى طوى علم القدر عن أنامه ونهاهم عن مرامه كما قال تعالى في كتابه لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون فمن سأل لما فعل فقد رد حكم الكتاب ومن رد حكم الكتاب كان من الكافرين. Translation. The exalted nature of the decree is Allah's secret in His creation, and no angel, no close angel, no near angel, nor close prophet had been given the knowledge of it. And delving into it and reflecting too much about it only leads to destruction and loss and results in rebelliousness. So be very careful about thinking and reflecting on this matter or letting doubts about it assail you. For Allah has kept knowledge of the decree away from human beings, and He has forbidden them inquiring about it. Saying in His book, He is not to be asked about what He does, but they are asked. That's what Allah said. So anyone who asks why did Allah do that, has gone against a judgment of the book, and anyone who goes against a judgment of the book is a disbeliever. This is a very important matter, and I want you to pay close attention to. What did I say before? من عاش على شيء مات عليه. Whoever lived on a certain attitude will be dying on that attitude. And it will be his seal. How many people died while they were taking drugs? How many people died while they were fornicating? At the same moment they were fornicating, and suddenly their heart stopped. So we should be fearing Allah when we indulge ourselves in a sin, that it may be our seal. The moment of death may come. When a person commits a sin, and then he finds that Allah enabled him to repent to Him, he'll be saying, Ya Rabb, Alhamdulillah, that I did not die before that. I did not die before making repentance. If you die before making repentance from that sin, it's a big trouble. It had been said, لا تعجبوا بعمل أحد. Don't be fascinated with the action of someone. حتى تنظروا بما يختم له. Don't be fascinated. Don't admire people's action until you see what will be the seal of those people. فإن العامل يعمل زمانا من دهره بعمل صالح. For a person may work for a period of time in a good, doing a good action. ثم يتحول, then he'll be changing. فيعمل عملا سيئا, he'll be doing a bad action. He'll be changed. وإذا أراد الله, this is very important. وإذا أراد الله بعبد خيرا, if Allah intends good with His servant, استعمله قبل موته. He'll be utilizing him, using him. فيوفقه لعمل صالح. Allah will let him do a good action by which it will become its seal. It's amazing, huh? That Abu Talib dies as a kafir, while he spent his life defending the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. While Abu Sufyan dies as a mu'min, while he spent his whole life leading the campaigns and wars against the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a matter of qadr. It is based on the knowledge of Allah about what things occur in the heart, not based on what people see apparently, externally. No. I think you know the story of the one whom the Prophet pointed out his finger on him and saying, this man is one of the people of hell, while the man was fighting the enemies extremely. And many companions were admiring him. He was so brave. Then the Prophet said, this person is one of the people of hell. Companions were wondering, why? Why this man is one of the people of hell? What made him? What made him so? What did he do? In many narrations had proven that the man was doing this for a matter of fame, showing off. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exposes people, showing their reality, that they're not truly believers. Even if they pretend outside, as a matter of fact, they're not. Okay. We come to the matter of qadr. The qadr is very important. It is one of the bases of Iman. And Allah will not be accepting from the servant any kind of worship if he has a problem with the matter of al-qadr. If he denies the predestination, the matter of predestination, al-qadr. It had been narrated by Muslim that people came to Ibn Umar, the son of Umar ibn Khattab, and said to him, we have seen apparently, currently or recently, some people who read the Quran well. They read it well. وَيَتَقَفَّرُونَ الْعِلْمِ, and they trace knowledge. That means they are good. They're making great efforts in seeking knowledge. وَيَزْعُمُونَ, now this is their problem. وَيَزْعُمُونَ أَنَّهُ لَا قَدَرٍ, and they claim that there is no qadr. Allah did not predestine anything. وَأَنَّ الْأَمْرَ أُنُفٍ, and the matter is only resuming by itself automatically. Things are going automatically without being predestined by Allah. Without His predestination, without His knowledge. And He knows the thing after it happens, not before. Abdullah ibn Umar replied, if you see those kinds of people, tell them that I free myself from them and they have nothing to do with me. And I swear by Allah that if one of them possesses the likeness of the mountain of Uhud as money, and he spends it, Allah will not be accepting any of his donation, any of his good work. Until what? Until he fixes his understanding of the matter of qadr. As it had been narrated, it's been narrated by Ibn Abbas, but it's not authentic, it's weak, but the meaning is okay. Al-qadru nizam al-tawheed. The qadr is the order of tawheed, system of tawheed. Al-qadr is the system of tawheed. فَمَنْ وَحَّدَ اللَّهِ, whoever worshipped Allah, whoever purified his ibadah tawheed, but he denied al-qadr, نَقَضَ تَكْذِيبُهُ تَوْحِيدَهُ. His denial will be cancelling his tawheed. His denial of Allah's predestination will be cancelling his tawheed. That's why there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said about the Qadariyah, they are the Majus of this ummah. What are al-Qadariyah? Those who say that Allah has nothing to do with the matter of Qadar. He is the creator of good, not the evil. When a person says that, he should be warned that now you are claiming that there's a creator for the good and creator for the evil. That's why the Prophet made them similar to those Majus, Magians. Why? Because this is what they used to believe, that there's a creator for the evil and there's a creator for the good. What is the meaning, the definition of qadar? ما سبق به علم الله. Qadar is what the knowledge of Allah had known it before, eternally. وجرى به القلم, and the pen moved to write it. مما هو كائن, from what had been created إلى الأبد. وأن الله قدر مقادير الخلائق, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala managed and predestined the creation's names, dates of existence, provision, what will they be, what will they be ending, when they will be dying, by what they will be ending, believers, disbelievers, etc. All of these are maqadir of Allah. We know something called al-qada wal-qadar. What is the difference between al-qada and al-qadar? Can anyone give me the definition or the difference between qada and qadar? Scholars say, al-qadar علم الله بما تكون عليه المخلوقات في المستقبل. Qadar is the knowledge of Allah about what people will be in their whole future. This is al-qadar. Al-qada إيجاد الله للأشياء حسب علمه وإرادته. This is Allah's bringing to existence regarding the things that He knew about and He willed it to be done, to bring them in existence. Now, and the reality of Iman, faith, is this, that you believe that there is nothing in this universe, be it life, or death, or disease, or health, or poverty, or wealth, except by a taqdeer. All things have been destinated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَمَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ كَانَ وَمَا لَمْ يَشَاء لَمْ يَكُنْ. But part of, based on His will, is to create us with will. Because we don't know creatures that Allah forced them to be disbelievers. But we know that there are creatures whom Allah created and did not put in them the option of choosing between the good and the evil. Like what? Like the angels. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم. They never disobey Allah what He orders them. Never. But I haven't seen creatures that they were forced to disbelieve. I know that He created people who are forced to obey, like the angels. That's why regarding the angels, there is no reward, there is no warning and reward for them, because they are automatically created on this way. So among the wills of Allah, that He willed us to have a will. The matter of qadr, as I mentioned, should be sound, proper, from false misconceptions. And one of the problems of ilm al-kalam as well, that it caused a problem that caused division between the Muslims. They also divided as the previous nations, Jews and Christians divided. They divided among themselves about the matter of qadr. Part of them, they became qadari, and some other parts they became jabri. Qadari yani, they deny the qadr. The jabri is they believe in the qadr, but to the extent that they deny the will of people. Both people are going into extremes. The principle of qadr is based on two important principles or fundamentals. The first fundamental, that believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala علم بعلمه القديم أعمال عباده. He had known by His ancient knowledge all what His people, His servants do. وَأَجَالَهُمْ. The second one, when we analyze the attribute of knowledge, then we'll be understanding something beneficial that will be saving us from what people have been deviated regarding the qadr of Allah. And that is the attribute of ilm, knowledge. For example, we know that Allah knows what people did, right? And what people do, right? And what people will do, right? But there's another thing that Allah knows. He knows about the kuffar who died as kafir. If they were to be returned to life, Allah knows that they will be returning to kufr, to disbelief. How come? Allah says, وَلَوْ رُدُّوا لَعَادُوا لِمَا نُهُوا عَنْهُ وَإِنَّهُمْ لَكَاذِبُونَ. And if they were returned to life, because they'll be saying at the Day of Judgment, oh Allah, return us to life. Wallahi, you'll be worshipping me. Wallahi, you'll be the best. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَوْ رُدُّوا لَعَادُوا لِمَا نُهُوا عَنْهُ وَإِنَّهُمْ لَكَاذِبُونَ. If they were returned, if they were returned to life, they will be returning to the same mischief, to the same shirk, to the same disbelief that they used to be involved with. وَإِنَّهُمْ لَكَاذِبُونَ. And they are truly liars. This is in Surah Al-An'am, ayah number 28. Also He said, وَلَوْ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ خَيْرًا لَأَسْمَعَهُمْ وَلَوْ أَسْمَعَهُمْ لَتَوَلَّوْا وَهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ وَلَوْ عَلِمَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ خَيْرًا لَأَسْمَعَهُمْ. If Allah had known good in them, He would have opened their ears to hear properly. But if Allah opened their ears, look at this now. Even if Allah had opened their ears, which it used to be open before, وَلَوْ أَسْمَعَهُمْ, even if Allah made them hear, لَتَوَلَّوْا وَهُمْ مُعْرِضُونَ, they would still have turned away and they'll be refusing, even if Allah opened their ears. In another ayah, إِنَّمَا تُجْزَوْنَ مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. Verily, you are being now recompensed according to what you used to do. So this is the adl and ilm of Allah. He knows what people did, what people are doing, what will people be doing. And if they died on kufr, if they were to be returned, He knows what will be their attitude, even if they were returned to life again. فَمَنْ عَصَى لَمْ يَعْصِ رَغْمًا عَنْ إِرَادَةِ اللَّهِ. Whoever disobeyed, he did not disobey Allah by forcing Allah's will. No. But it was Allah who enabled him to have this option, to have this choice of will. Okay? Now, those, as we mentioned, that there are Jabri and Qadari people. Jabri, what are the Jabris? Those who free man from his will. So whatever he does, it had been done by the will of Allah. Yani if he fornicate, قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ مَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. Allah predestined what I did. If this is the case, then there are many false consequences based on this false belief. What? Number one, that Allah should not be punishing him for his sins. Number two, that Allah should not be punishing the Jews and the Christians, because He forced them to become Jews and Christians. Number three, that this kind of belief, which is disbelief, it will be making the sinners innocent. And it will be referring the oppression, the sin, to Allah. No. So believing in the matter of Qadr is based on 4 levels. Number one, the ancient knowledge of Allah. Number two, that He wrote it in the sacred tablet. Number three, that the Mashi'ah, the will of Allah, is nafida. It has to take place. Number four, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mujid li kulli al-makhluqat. Allah is the bringer to existence of all creatures. Now the second fundamental, al-iman bi-annahu ma sha Allahu kan wa ma lam yasha lam yakun wa ma min harakatin wa la sukunin illa bi amri Allahi takun. The second fundamental is that Allah, what Allah wills will be, and what Allah wills not, it will not be. And there is no action. And sukoon yani, what's the sukoon? Tranquility. Yeah, the opposite of action. Illa bi amri Allah, it must be by under Allah's will. No. طيب. So we have 2 types of cults. One cult, they believed in Qadr, but they used it as a plea, evidence for them in doing the kufr and disobediences. طيب. Do you remember what I mentioned last time? The mushrikeen will be saying, had Allah willed, we would have not been setting partners with Him, nor will be falling in haram, or making things halal, making things haram, which He made halal. It was Allah's will. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ فَلِلَّهِ الْحُجَّةُ الْبَالِغَةُ. Say, to Allah belongs the conclusive what? Say, with Allah is the far-reaching conclusive argument. You know the conclusive argument? فَلَوْ شَاءَ لَهَدَاكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Had it been Allah's will, He would have been guiding you all. Why didn't He say, had it been Allah's will, He would be making you all misguided? He said the opposite, which indicates to me that if Allah ever wants to force someone, He'll be forcing him on guidance, not the opposite. Is this clear to you? If he'll be forcing people on guidance, not on misguidance. How can Allah force people on misguidance and then He punishes them? Can't be. But those people will not be saying, using this evidence, you know, when they commit sin, they say it's Allah's predestination. Now, do they say that when someone hits them, someone smacked you, takh, would you be saying that's Allah's will? No, they won't say that. It had been narrated, I don't know if it's authentic or not, I'm sorry, that one person was brought to Umar ibn al-Khattab. He had stolen. So Umar said to him, why did you steal? He said, oh, Amir al-Mu'mineen, it's the qadr of Allah. All right. Are you sure? He said, yes. So he said, cut his hand. After his hand been cut off, Umar said, now you have to lash him 80 times. Lashing? Why? He said, cutting your hand is for the theft, and 80 lashes are for, no, is because of your fraud testimony against Allah. That Allah, distant that on you, as if you're trying to free yourself from responsibility. It's Allah's qadar. I have stolen by Allah's qadar. So Umar punished him by the qadar of Allah as well. Yes. So how many sins he committed? 2. The second one is worst. The second one is worst because he claimed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forced him to do that. And he has nothing to do with it. He's free. He's innocent. The other group are those who believed in qadar, but they have excluded kufr and sins from the qadar of Allah. And they claim that Allah neither created them, nor He knew about them unless, except after it had been occurred. Did you understand it? Is it clear? Clear to you? Shall I repeat it? Shall I repeat? The other cult, they believed in the qadar of Allah. Those are the Qadariyah. They didn't say there's no qadar, we don't believe in qadar. No. But they said, regarding the sins and kufr, they are not under the qadar of Allah. Out. He neither created them, nor He knew about them, except after they happened. Okay? Now, that's why those were described as what? That they are majus of this ummah. Hadith is narrated in Mishkat al-Masabih, and Sheikh Albani rahimahullah said it's authentic based on the frequent narrations of it. The best word I heard from the Prophet about the matter of qadar is this. You see, taking the measures, taking the asbab, the reasons, do not contradict the matter of qadar. That's why when the Prophet ﷺ said, مَا مِنْكُمْ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا وَقَدْ كُتِبَ مَقْعَدُهُ مِنَ النَّارِ وَمَقْعَدُهُ مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ. There is no one among you but his seat in hell or his seat in paradise, it had been registered, predestined, recorded, written. Then they said to the Prophet ﷺ, أَفَلَا نَتَّكِلُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. So shouldn't we be depending then? Depending on what had been written about us. He said, اعملوا فكل ميسر لما خلق له. Work, struggle, for everything is facilitated to what it had been created for. Is that understood? أما من كان من أهل السعادة فسيصير لعمل أهل السعادة. As for the one who belongs to the people of happiness, will be facilitated to be gathered to the action of sa'ada, to the action of happiness. But as for him who belongs to the people of misery, he will be facilitated to the action of misery. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى. This is a beautiful word. فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى. As for the one who gives and donates, we will be making easy for him to take the way of yusr, the way of good. We'll not only we'll open it for them, no, we will make it easy for him. طيب. وأما من بخل واستغنى فسنيسره. Even for the one who deny and he becomes stingy and he doesn't donate, we will make the way of evil easy on him as well. We'll be facilitating on him to reach to the way of hell. There is something called tanasub, proportionality. Proportionality, do you know that? Proportionality. What is that? There is a proportional way between the qadr of Allah and the action of, and also a proportionality between the qadr of Allah and the action of Allah, whether be it speech or action of Allah. I give an example. The Quran used to be descending on every incident, right? Giving the criterion, giving the etc. etc. But also now we can see the Quran is perfect. In the way it had been combined and collected, it's perfect. Despite the variety of the incidents and etc. It's been collected perfectly. Likewise is the matter of qadr of Allah. Is a matter of perfect way of managing. And at the same time, is adil of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One person came to the Prophet ﷺ and he had his own camel with him, and he said to him, Ya Rasulullah, أعقلها أم أتوكل? Have you heard of this hadith before? Some people, they go like this, أعقلها. Yani, you should be thinking about the matter and then make tawakkul. That's not true. That's not what the Prophet said. أعقلها, that means you have to tie your cattle. That means you have to take to consider what? The causes, the reasons. So if you tie, because the man said to him, shall I tie it or I depend? He said to him, tie it and depend on Allah. So tying it is taking the means of tawakkul. Not like the Sufi kind of tawakkul. There's Abu Bakr al-Shibli, I think al-Shibli. He went to the wilderness by tawakkul, without water, without food, without weapons. Then he was eaten by as-siba', maybe lions or something, or they ate him. Who has more tawakkul? This Sufi man or those animals? Wallahi, those animals, their tawakkul on Allah is better than him. There's something by the Sufis, it's called khuruj ala tawakkul. We go somewhere and we make tawakkul on Allah, no matter what happened to us. If we died because of hunger, that will be our qadr, dying on hunger. If some animal killed us, ate us, that will be our qadr. What kind of tawakkul is this? That's why scholars call this kind of tawakkul tawakkul, not tawakkul. Tawakkul, yani so-called depending on Allah. What is the impact of the aqeedah of qadr? The impact is this. The impact can be seen by the words of the Prophet ﷺ when he said, وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ الْأُمَّةَ لَوْ اجْتَمَعَتْ. We should be aware that if the whole ummah had gathered itself so that they will be benefiting you, such benefit that Allah does not allow it, they will not be benefiting you. And the vice versa. If they were all gathered to harm you, they will not be harming you except the harm that Allah allowed it to be done. Then another hadith, احرص على ما ينفعك. Be so keen to what is beneficial to you. واستعن بالله ولا تعجز, and seek help from Allah and never be frustrated. فإن أصابك شيء, but if anything happens to you, فلا تقل, don't say that if I have done it that way, it would have not been this way. No. But say, قَدَرُ اللَّهِ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلْ. This is the qadr of Allah, and what Allah willed had taken place. فَإِنَّ لَوْ تَفْتَحُ عَمَلَ الشَّيْطَانِ. Because the word law opens the action of the devil. What is law? If I have. In matters of life, it opens the gate of the devil. But in matters of the hereafter, it doesn't. I wanted to emphasize that this kind of aqidah had given them trust and confidence and bravery. While they are in their way to convey the message, they trust Allah. That whatever happens to them, for His sake, they are ready to confront any difficulty, any obstacle, any problem. And it causes them to be brave. That's what I wanted to say. And it frees them from being slave to the people. Because they trust on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't do things for the sake of people. They don't do something to please people. They do it for the sake of the one who is free from people. And whatever he decides to give them, no one can stop. Whatever Allah stopped them to be benefited from, no one can give them. This kind of doctrine will be removing any kind of cowardice from the heart of the believer. Giving an answer to this usual question, هل الإنسان مخير أم مسير? Do you understand the meaning of that? Yeah. طيب. Can you give an answer to this? Before we... What do you think? Mukhayyar, that means he has choice, or he is driven to do what had been decided for him to do. Musayyar. Musayyar, that means just like being driven to do the thing. Is he driven to do the thing, or he has the choice? The other thing before that, what makes the person confident in faith and brave, is that he knows that everything happens to him is good. Even if he has crashes, dead fate, disasters, disease, is all good for him. So he knows that as long as he's with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he trusts Allah and everything happens to him. He has no fear. Okay, so let's give an answer to this. He is mukhayyar and musayyar, both. Both. In terms of things that you have no access to, you cannot stop, you cannot resist, you are musayyar here. You're driven. You have no choice. Such as, Allah is not going to be asking you, why did you get sick? As long as you did not subject yourself to that. Suddenly you have flu. You will not be punished. Why did you have the flu? It's out of your will. So you are musayyar or mukhayyar in this?
Musayyar.
You are musayyar.
Death is musayyar.
Yeah, but let's talk about actions before death. Okay? Unless he died deliberately, he committed suicide. But, طبعا it's mukhayyar. Whether he commits suicide or not, for sure. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever killed himself by a piece of solid like this, his solid will be in his hand at the Day of Judgment, doing it always, for decades. Allahu A'lam when it will stop. So he's mukhayyar. So anything you have no power to stop, it's over your will, khalas, you are musayyar in this. But anything you have the option, you have access to stop it or to do it, then you'll be responsible for it, and you are mukhayyar in that. By this we have ended the matter of qadar. I know it's a bit long, but also inshallah I hope it's beneficial to you. Is there any question you'd like to ask?
People do either good or bad, that he would compel them to do good. Something I didn't understand was something where Allah guides who He wills, and I don't know if it does.
And He misguides whom He will. Yes? It's because of a reason. No, the worst creature that Allah created is the devil, right? Didn't He ask the devil, Why didn't you make sujood? So we believe also that the same thing with the matter of jinn. They have the same thing. They are given choice in their decision. They were guided to the evil and the good. So when the devil refused to obey Allah, didn't Allah ask him why? Did Allah force him when he was asking him why, or before he was asking him why? Did he force them? Did he force the devil? How can he force the devil while he's saying to the devil, why did you do that? But he knew that he's going to do that. That's why he issued the order to the angels to bow down to Adam. When he said, I want to make a viceroy on earth, Khalifa, the angels didn't know what is occurring. They said, are you going to create those who are going to shed blood on earth? He said, I know, inni a'lamu ma la I know what you know not. Ibn Kathir and many mufassirin, they said, as if Allah is saying, I know about a creature who's concealing arrogance against Adam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that issue of bowing down to Adam to reveal, to expose what is occurring in the heart of, in the soul of this devil. And that would happen. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أَفَأَنْتَ تُكْرِهُ النَّاسَ حَتَّى يَكُونُ مُؤْمِنِينَ? Do you compel people in order to become believers? So if he's saying that to his Prophet, yes, I believe. Oh, why? Yes, there are people who had been punished because of their kufr. Yani, for example, they were blocked from guidance as a punishment for them because it became an attitude in them. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when the Jews said, when they said, our hearts are blocked, then Allah refuted them saying, بَلْ طَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهَا بِكُفْرِهِمْ. بَلْ طَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهَا بِكُفْرِهِمْ فَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Look what Allah said. When they said, قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ, when they said, our hearts are wrapped, yani sealed against reception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, but rather, Allah has sealed them because of their disbelief. Yeah, this thing that happened, khalas, eventually, that their hearts are blocked, it's a punishment because of their attitude. So Allah does not block people's heart from guidance, but because of a reason. And He does not do that except by, we've been talking about the knowledge of Allah. He does it with His knowledge about the person. What occurs in him, what activates in him internally. Okay? Clear, inshallah?
So I think the root of disobedience is the free will.
طبعا.
If they know free will, they know disobedience.
Yes.
So Iblis has got free will.
Yes.
The angels, they know how.
The angels don't have, yeah? That's what we're saying.
So the big problem is the free choice. You have
Yeah.
to remove.
Allah Ustaz. طيب, any other question? Yes?
Is it possible for the color to change, for example?
Your task is not to find out what is your fate, but you have to struggle asking Allah. Now, yani, the Prophet taught us to say, اللهم إني أعوذ بعزتك لا إله إلا أنت أن تضلني أنت الحي الذي لا يموت والإنس والجن يموتون. O Allah, I ask you, I seek refuge with you, with your glory. I seek refuge with your glory, that you may misguide me. أنت الحي الذي لا يموت. You are the one, the living one who never die, while al-ins and jinn kind, they die. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's an important ayah. وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُضِلَّ وَمَا كَانَ اللَّهُ لِيُضِلَّ قَوْمًا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَاهُمْ حَتَّى يُبَيِّنَ لَهُمْ مَا يَتَّقُونَ. And Allah would not let a people stray after He has guided them until He makes clear to them what they should avoid. Allah is knowing of all things. Does this make it clear? Did you understand this ayah? Shall I repeat it? I'll repeat it. And Allah would not let a people astray after He has guided them until He makes clear to them what they should avoid. Indeed, Allah is knowing of all things. As in another ayah, Allah said, وَأَمَّا ثَمُودُ فَهَدَيْنَاهُمْ. But as for the people of Thamud, we guided them. فَاسْتَحَبُّوا الْعَمَى عَلَى الْهُدَى. But they have preferred blindness over what? Guidance. So Allah guided them to huda, to the guidance. But they preferred hawa. See the difference between huda and hawa? They preferred hawa, following their desires. So Allah is making it clear. He guided the people of Thamud, but they preferred blindness. Okay, Shaykh? Clear? جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك بارك الله فيكم